Years ago, my husband and I used to have horses when we lived in Sterling on an acreage, and you could have horses right in your front garden. And we did. We had at least 2 horses at all times, and our kids learned to ride. So I'm sorry I forgot my cowgirl hat and my spats, but my poem is called Rusty Moon in the fall of 1991. I'm going to tell you a tale in the Paul Bunyan style, so just settle back and get comfy and listen a while. At Waterton Park, in the shade of Old Chief, begins a tale of horse trading, one step from a thief. On a trail ride one fall, I rode a wild bucking machine. He kicked and he bit. In short, he was mean. After riding that gelding from hell all that day, at trail's end, I demanded to ride our guide's gentle bay. We flew through the air as he pranced and pirouetted on stones. He was nimble and quick, ballet bred in the bones. In response to my question, who the owner might be, he belongs to old Jake, but he won't sell, no, not he. Well, I phoned up old Jake. I longed for that horse. We agreed to meet at Baylog auctions, of course. How will I know you in that great cattleman throng? I'll be the ugliest cowboy there, he replied in sing-song. Now, a friend of mine, Drew, a weekend cowgirl of sorts, agreed to help me check this horse out for warts. At Baylog, no cowboy was clearly the ugliest one, but Jake found us women. We stuck out like sore thumbs. Now there's no worse time to horse hunt than in the dark and the cold, when the buyer is freezing and the trader foxy and old. But we found some benefits, though the night hit a lot. That old bay chilled and stiffened, with pain he was fraught. Drew's sharp eyes discovered his arthritic hind legs. His hip bones stuck out his sides like weathered clothes pegs. That meager saddle couldn't cover his deeply swayed back. My friend spat at Jake. Why, he's just an old hack. Still, I had my heart set on buying that horse. But Drew hissed at me. Be patient, of course. As the snow whipped around us and dark settled in, Jake and I finally agreed on a price with transport thrown in. Later that night, Jake's horse trailer drove through our gate. In the paddock beside our horses, that bay did not look great. That winter, with hay, oats, and vitamin B shots galore, by springtime, he looked a dozen years younger, or more. We curried and brushed him till his coat gleamed like fire. Our kids rode him with glee, 'cause his barrel racing did inspire. So when it came time to sell our farm 2 years later, I sold that old bay back to Jake at a profit. Now who's the horse trader? Thank you.
Here's 2 new ones. This one's called Out on the Water in My Head. I'm going on a boat. I'm gonna cross the sea. I'm not looking behind. I look in front of me. My paddles pierce the waves. My gaze is so intense. The water passing by, is it making sense? The birds are overhead. The fish are in the sea. I'm tired all the time inside of my body. I'm making decent time. I'm going on my way. The clock is ticking past. It doesn't give away. At night I see the stars, I also see the moon. It's kindly staring down, from way up there it looms. The sun, it burns my face, the sun, it burns my skin, my body and my face. The pain it gets to me, it's something to erase. I look around and see whatever all is there. A lot of open water, more than the mind can bear. All the thoughts are racing there and within my mind. Am I gonna make it out? Will I be all right? The water turns to lava, the sky into a gun, pointing down at me. It isn't very fun. I think I'm hearing voices as they mutter away, shaking in my head and shaking in my brain. My body starts to tremble. There is so much to see. An endless panorama staring back at me. I decide it is over. I decide I am done. I am gonna sink my boat and see whatever comes. Thanks. This one's called The Brittle Fabric of Reality. Throwing round a baseball, knock it out of park. Looking out the windows, is it getting dark? What do you see out there amongst the trees? Are there laughing faces? Are there brutal bees? Waiting in the summer, weather's coming back. When we are more comfortable, never wearing black. Are you still a runner? Are you gonna drive? Are you making plastic? Will you still arrive? Leaving all the houses, waiting on the beach, looking at the surfers, way they're out of reach. Spilling all your dinner down onto the floor. Got to pick it up again, and that is for sure. Tell me of the weapons they are putting down. Tell me of the groceries, the ones that you found. I will last a minute. I will spit the fire. I am dancing in the trees. I am a live wire. Are you going out again, deep into the night? Are you gonna swim around beneath the lunar light? Will something come from below that will take you down? Drag you down below the waves where you are gonna drown. Have 100 wishes, hope that they come true. When you see him in the light, looking back at you. Spill a cup of flour, spill a cup of cheese, spill a cup of coffee while contracting the disease. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm not, Bev is still the master at that. I'm just a newbie with the political poems. I read one last time, and actually I'm gonna read it again because now I have a trilogy. So, this one has to be read with the others. So the first one's called Withering Apricot, and the title of this poem is simply called This to Be Clever, not as an insult to apricots everywhere. Okay. Withering Apricot. He doesn't have the capacity for empathy. It isn't even something he could comprehend or understand, especially not in this delusional shell of a mind that remains in his accumulated years of only self-regard and the urge to please those who can make his pockets fatter. He's keen on those who support his superficial ideas of self-grandeur. They stroke and flatter. He sure does love a good ass kisser. Countlessly demonstrating he is primitive and intellectually IQ challenged. His belly and orange sagging face are feeling gravity stronger than ever. His moral compass, however, small it must have been sometime long, long ago, in his childhood perhaps. He has successfully, completely, absolutely, and undoubtedly disintegrated and ignited extreme hatred that incinerated over time what was left of this crinkled, cracked compass, stemming from years of having an ever-growing dysfunctional brain, family life, expectations, and mental illness, from the complete and utter absence of love, and contempt for absolutely everything other than someone who can immediately or greatly benefit him directly. The only important attribute you seek in your twisted, mauled, and deformed view on humanity, society, our plants, animals, oceans, forests, and air is how it can keep you rich, fat, feeling in control, and loved by those who feel like the absolute absence of compassion and human decency is the route to take. You would call it an investment to roll over the most vulnerable. A whole new word should be invented to describe your level of horrible. And that's not even speaking to the absolute terror of the blood-borne devil that sits on your shoulder, his stench of life's disregard and his pores musk. Hatred embodied and putrid evil remains on this once human husk. Okay, so that's the first. Thank you. Now, I was inspired after poetry last month, and I wrote this before bed after our last poetry. And it's called Obliterate the Darkness. Obliterate the darkness. Sniffling scoundrel of a ketamine-addicted psychopath, I heard someone refer to you as intelligent today, and it made my stomach turn and my skin crawl. Wrath and contempt for humanity is what bubbles inside of you and oils your joints. Born into more wealth than you could possibly ever know what to do with does not build 1 IQ points. Once regarded as a philanthropist, the billionaire who cares, someone to help humanity move through the stars, first stop Mars. Your true squiggling worm-akin nature is showing to the world, and compared to you, even the most parasitic worms on the planet look like unicorns. Your horns, your muscle, your power, yes, use your money to devour good agencies in place. Checkpoints, eradicate foreign aid. Who needs it? Why help those caught in disaster? You human sewage sump pump with the world's most pathetic rally jump. Your acute attraction to grime, your quest for rule absolute as you show the world a tribute to your heritage with your Nazi salute. Corrupt, evil villain, throwing daddy's money at democracy. How are people still slurping back the black, rancid soup you are funneling down their throats? You're the foulest joke that's taken the reins in my days on this continent. Detest invoked, and the river of lies that scatters and flows with every word you choke out of your throat perpetually revolts. This orb has no place for you. I fear we can only break on through to something better, more beautiful and elevated, when those you so freely suppress are emancipated and your presence on this planet has been eliminated. For this earth we love and for its people, good will always triumph over evil. Thank you. Thank you. And this is my favorite. I wrote this about 2.5 weeks ago on a Friday night. And yeah, I think it's one of my favorite poems I've ever written. It's called Weaponized. There it goes. Weaponized. Weaponized for a very diabolical agenda. Radicalized. A brain's mechanisms and responses to targeted manipulation. You've been lied to. The rabbit hole, the long game for control, pitting the population against one another by confusing so many, crippling cooperation in society, people coerced into giving up strong morals and the ability to see right from wrong, countries defending their sovereignty. Where did the world get it wrong all over again and try to cross borders and claim neighbors as their own? 2025, a time for the conquerors? My, how humanity as a whole has not grown. How can we not come together and see that we can't respect anyone who doesn't put a value on life and our planet? Why can't we come together and oppose the billionaire elite, many of which have sold out their moral codes to the highest bidder and kissed the ring of the Goblin King? A sad state of the world indeed, as we squabble amongst ourselves and those in power continue to sweep their vacuum over our planet, pillaging the earth to support old money and old ways. Justice, liberty, freedoms, and a consideration for humanity is slowly sliding away around us, and still some of us watch in horror and some of us cheer. How can this be so? Some are so brainwashed by the constant stream of rubbish. Their phone searches, triggered groups, and pages planned push pedal, where they're directly targeted and then in turn start spewing the garbage as if they're enlightened that the monstrosities going on south of the border and across the globe aren't all that bad. Endorphins released, they seek the praise of others, radicalized in their beliefs. The most essential thing we should all be thinking about right now is having a government in power that won't bow down to the decrepit lunatics currently holding the reins and dismantling a nation and every global friend to appease Putin's blackmail. All are in jeopardy due to some twisted philosophy and untouchable leverage. Disease and drug-encompassed cognition greasing the steam engine and quashing all they can in their way. Choo-choo. A plan to roll over the men, women, and children's remains in Gaza and make it a resort. Come golf and drink your cocktails over their fresh bones. I did not know empathy could be so fragile. Is the magnitude of what's going on lost on so many? Why are so many on my friends list spewing this deceit and unable to retain their decency? A long-played, carefully planned psychological game to reinforce new extreme ideologies for the purpose of securing whatever commodities necessary to further the gap between classes and equality. I say this with unwavering conviction. There is no genuine integrity whatsoever in this criminal rule over America that twist and perverse laws and conduct acts that are illegal. Not one tiny shred of this administration is or ever will be for the people. It's simply soul-crunching and unfeasible that we have come to such a place that lies can be called truths, and demons with dull, disastrous, withering, hateful minds by some are deemed believable. It's inconceivable. This tyranny is tantruming, all over diplomacy, democracy, and steps towards evolution. But here we are, with these obscenities gripping power in their claws, blazing their mantras of hate, and spreading discord to their disciples. When we continue to war amongst each other, the monsters smile. For we are playing right into their scathing, scornful hands, and finding more common ground together, flipping the script to more positive, productive talk with one another, the surefire way to make the evil disband. How this will yet unfold between the radical differences humans hold has yet to be devised, when so many of our fellow Homo sapiens have been strategically weaponized. Thank you. Thank you.
Jesus, seems to be tonight for politics.
I wonder why.
And because there's a little time, I'm going to run something a little bit longer. This came just before COVID, I guess. There was a news article about 4 old guys, and I think it was Alabama, who got arrested for plotting to blow up some government office. And I think they were in their 70s, and well, my contemporaries. But so for some reason, I hate it when I'm prescient. I hate it when I can read the future, and this sort of seems to be about that. It's called "And If the Times Be Out of Joint." Angry old men, all too conscious that their time is running out, secure in the belief that they will be present at the resurrection, but impatient and a little worried. Though they will not admit to doubt, should Armageddon be delayed, their souls will not stand close inspection. Secure in the belief that they'll be present at the resurrection, they'd like to hurry things along, fearing eternity's a long, long time. They cling to custom and maintain old prejudices, despise the new. To the righteous, evil doing to fight the greater evil is no crime. They'd like to hurry things along, fearing eternity is a long, long time. They cling to custom and maintain old prejudices, despise the new. To the righteous, evil doing to fight the greater evil is no crime. Selected chapters, ill-remembered verse, they know the right and true. They cling to custom and maintain old prejudices, and despise the new, displaced persons in their natal land. The old men take the book and read selected passages, ill-remembered verse. They know the right and true. They hear the whetstone on the scythe. Anger's a refuge to those in need. Straight displaced persons in their natal land, the old men take the book and read a little bit. The righteous are in peril. They know the truth when they hear it. They hear the whetstone on the scythe. Anger is a refuge to those in need. They'd sooner admit to anger than to fear. Anger and righteous wrath. A bit, a little bit. The righteous are in peril. They know the truth when they hear it. They find one another. Convince themselves end times are here, the time to act. They sooner admit to anger than to fear. Anger and righteous wrath, a bit embarrassed in their vehemence, convinced that what they believe is fact. They find one another. Convince themselves end times are here, the time to act. A loose affiliation, as time goes on, they support one another, no longer embarrassed by their vehemence. Convinced that what they believe is fact. As time goes by, mere talk dissatisfies, the urge to act grows stronger. A loose affiliation. As time goes on, they support one another, no longer alone in their own thoughts. They grow older and they rage. As time goes on, mere talk dissatisfies. The urge to act grows stronger. They would send the world a message, find themselves at center stage, alone with their thoughts. They grow old and they rage. They will die and they will be lost and they will not be remembered. They would send the world a message, find themselves at center stage, and if the times be out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. They will die, and they will be lost, and they will not be remembered unless they act. They know their foes, they have the means, the tools, and if the times be out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. That word, okay. They meet and talk and plan. Those who know will be thought fools unless they act. They know their foes. They have the means, the tools. It's the end of times. They know the great final battle must be fought. They meet and talk and plan. Those who know will be thought fools should they be discovered, and all their plans will come to naught. It is the end of times. They know the great final battle must be fought. And if the times be out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. Should they be discovered and all their plans shall come to naught, they will die and they will be lost, and they will not be remembered. And if the times be out of joint, then let the world be dismembered. In the end, it does not matter. It is irrelevant. Although it bothers them, they will die and they will be lost, and they will not be remembered. But that is nothing they will admit. Watery eyes, their talk full of phlegm. In the end, it does not matter. It is irrelevant. Although it bothers them, it fills their thoughts and words with bile. They dream of explosions and death, but that is nothing that they will admit. Watery eyes, their talk full of phlegm. They convince themselves they are running out of time and breath. It fills their thoughts with words, with bile. They dream of explosions and death. Sometimes they almost believe that the cleansing fire brings new birth. They convince themselves they are running out of time and breath. They have no time to waste. They would act and in their act outlive the earth. Sometimes they can almost believe the cleansing fire brings new birth, though most days the fire is enough. It all ends when they end. Sorry, the lights are just getting in my eyes. They have no time to wait. They would act, and in their act, outlive the earth. They have grown old and stiff. If they ever could, they can no longer bend. Though most days the fire is enough, it all ends when they end. Some of them will be bathed in fire, some bathed in the blood of the Lamb. They've grown old and stiff. If they ever could, they can no longer bend. They are the swords of the righteous. Those they oppose are damned. Some of them will be washed in the blood in fire, some of them bathed in the blood of the Lamb. They know their enemies now. They have names and they have faces. They see them on the nightly news, though they know the true foe lies hidden. They have possible means, possible targets, possible places. They know their enemies now. They have names and they have faces. They see them on the nightly news, though they know the true foe lies hidden. They have possible means, possible targets, possible places. They would see them dead, thrown out to rot upon some stinking midden. They see them in the nightly news, and though they know the true foe lies hidden, although the great will be beyond their reach, there is evil enough and close at hand. They would see them dead, thrown out to rot upon some stinking midden. Before they die, they must light a fire and purify the bleeding land. Though if the great be beyond their reach, there is evil enough and close to hand, but impatient and a little worried. Oh, they will not admit to doubt. Before they die, they must light a fire and purify the bleeding land. Angry old men, all too conscious that their time is running out. Thank you.
I'm going to read you portions of a lyric essay that was published by Tidewater Press in Upon a Midnight Clear. And this is my essay that's part of this. Upon a Midnight Clear is More Christmas Epiphanies. And it's about, well, my essay is about little miracles. So the first part, the first section I'm going to read you is really, really sad. And the second section I'm going to read you is really about miracles. Okay. And if anybody wants to see the pictures of the baby twins, I have them. They were born in December. Okay. Our Book of Days. During a whiteout, snow blinds us to everything but dark objects. Some people think deer don't belong in the cemetery because they eat the flowers. Not me. I bring roses to draw the mules and the whitetails to the place where your body lies. The deer are the guardians of the dead. They stay there to walk among you after the groundskeepers go home. Through all seasons, in good weather and bad. They never leave you alone for long, even if we who loved you get too busy to visit. Only a blizzard can make the deer retreat temporarily from the prairie. I don't know exactly where they go when the Arctic wind comes storming over the mountains to whip up snowy whirls. Do you? Is it in the valley, nearer the river? Do they hide with the rabbits and the magpies among the cottonwood trees and the chokecherry bushes? Do you go with them? We buried you 5 days before Christmas, in the middle of a blizzard, when the polar vortex pushed thermostats to minus 40 Celsius. It was not yet 4 in the afternoon when we got to your grave, but it felt like dusk. It was supposed to be the second darkest day of the year. I think it was the darkest. I didn't see any deer day we buried you. If they came, they kept their distance. But then again, I couldn't see much of anything through the blizzard. Your sister and brother kept me from falling while we waited to the chair in front of the grave. I did glimpse the oak-stained wooden urn your father and I picked out for you, and your picture propped on the bench beside it. That picture was taken in a sunny mountain valley on a day when your smile lit up the world. But the afternoon we buried you, there was no sun. It was so cold that the flower arrangements we ordered for your service froze the minute they were taken out of the hearse. White flakes landed on the wreath of yellow mums we brought from the funeral home, and the cold flash froze the white roses piled in a heap beside you. I sat. Everyone else stood. Your sister clapped her icy hands around my neck. She had forgotten to bring her mitts. I wrapped my gloved finger around her bare skin. "Let me warm you up," I said, as if anything could keep away the cold that afternoon. The priest prayed for you. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. The funeral director wrapped your urn in a purple velvet pouch before he placed you in the earth. I was comforted by that. I didn't want you to be cold. Somebody handed me a rose to toss on your coffin. I stood up and pointed the long stem toward you. It landed crossways and got stuck near the opening. Your sister's husband leaned over to push it into the pit. Your father tossed his rose. Then your sister and your brother tossed theirs. They aimed better. I wondered why the city crew made the hole so deep. I wondered why I hadn't put my hand on the urn when your father and I lit your baptismal candle in the funeral home. Why had I waited until now to think of touching you again? Why didn't I turn on the camera for that last Facebook chat? It was too late. I wanted to hold my baby again. And then this is the last section. Yeah? Okay.
Thank God Jolene knows much more about mics than I do.
I just can't put it to the
Okay.
side so you can still read.
Okay, no worries. Okay. Okay.
Better?
Yep. This essay has a lot of vignettes, and this is the last vignette. Though I have been to the place where you're buried a dozen times, my mind still can't quite grasp that you are dead. I want to undo time and bring you back. I want to release you from the trap. I want to find a way to make you well. I want a miracle. I want to make you live again. I want to make a miracle that my faith says cannot happen until the end of time. But tiny miracles are everywhere, if you look for them. The sweet, ripe apples that fall on my path in September, a poem that writes itself at 4 a.m., the sound of your voice inside my head, and the deer that seem to seek me out. I saw a fawn in June, a few weeks after your brother's wedding. It was the day after the summer solstice, the second lightest day of the year, and the 10th anniversary of the unraveling of our lives. The newborn was nestled in the grass, waiting patiently for his mother, knowing she would return for him, because that's what mothers are supposed to do. Mothers are a little like God in that way. Anyway, when I saw the fawn, I knew what I needed to say to you. It's this: I will love you forever, but I carry your memory with me everywhere. I will never leave you behind, but I am going to be okay, and your brother and sister will be too. So will you, till we meet again. I love you always and forever. Amen. Love, Mom. Oh, P.S. Another year has passed. I still wish I could undo time to bring you back again to me. I still think about you every day. But I have amazing news. Maybe you know it already. You are going to be an uncle, and the deer have started seeking out your brother. In mid-June, the week of the summer solstice, newborn twin fawns and their mother joined him on a walk, on one of the walks he takes at lunch. The next day, he and his wife got their first ultrasound, the one that confirmed they are expecting twins sometime in December. The twin fawns met him again in early July, much bigger, and on their own this time, while their mother was feeding on the green strip. A week later, on your birthday, the second ultrasound confirmed that the human babies are strong, too, and they're growing as quickly as the fawns. They will be here at Christmas, and we are happy again. Somehow, I think you do know that already. I think maybe that's what the deer and you have been trying to tell me for the past year and a half. That after the morning comes new life. And the babies still save the world at Christmas, like you did. Missing and loving you always, Mom.
I was just prepared to read 2 tonight, but maybe I'll read 3 because, like, you guys are like the diehard poetry audience, so I'll read like a special one. These first 2 are, I'm going to call them like Vancouver poems. I used to live in Vancouver when I was doing some graduate studies at UBC, and this was like before I was actually like serious about writing poetry. So they're pretty raw, but I don't know, they're fun, and I just kind of wanted to share them. The first one's called Top Floor of a Cafe. You, black dress, gray suede shoes. We push 2 tables together and work. I don't tell you I speak differently when I'm around Indians. I try too hard wanting to see you smile. Sometimes it works. You ask about sobriety. I say, I can be a good person when I smoke. But I'm scared I'm not a good person when I drink. You laugh, but I'm serious. Or maybe I laugh too. There was a softball game at the bottom of this hill. We sit in the grass, and I tear up the words I wish to say. The way you tear up those little flower marbles, you throw those little flower marbles. You throw one at me, hitting me in the eye. I swear it's okay for you to laugh. There are Indians beside us. They finish a Mickey and chuck the bottle and leave. I notice one man carries a book. Something inside me feels warm, and it's not the sun or the grass. A knuckle of amber on a windowsill. A lit cherry in the bowl of a depth charge. It's my turn, so I smile. I edge up the hill, chasing shade. Still warm out, huh? I think I say. But the truth is, I speak differently to everyone. Thank you. Okay, and then this is another super old one. So on UBC campus, there's like a nude beach called Wreck Beach, and I used to go there with my ex-wife and just sit there or whatever. And this is called wait. Excuse me. This one's called Wreck Beach number 7. He sells tie-dye shirts and swimwear tied to a long stick and balanced across his shoulders like a tightrope walker. But why did he stop and remove his pants before organizing his wares? I wonder, where will he place the money without pockets? His shirts flap, psychedelic flags and pinwheels dancing on the wind as he disappears among the nudes. Thank you.
So I actually wasn't planning on reading tonight initially, but after hearing some of the other poems, I've picked out a few of my own that I'd like to read. This first one I wrote on October 28th last year. I wrote it with Remembrance Day in mind. I called it, "It Should Not Be Forgotten." Lest we forget our 3 words said to me, lest we forget who we want to be, lest we forget what happened before, lest we forget those things we abhor, lest we forget the ones dragged into the street, lest we forget the ones who are broken and beat, lest we forget the suffering it caused, lest we forget, or it'll come at a cost. Lest we forget our 3 words to remind us all, lest we forget our 3 words spoken each fall, lest we forget that old anger and hate, lest we forget those who acted irate, lest we forget or we're doomed to repeat, lest we forget or will be dragged into the street, lest we forget or will be broken and beat, and yet we forgot, so now we repeat. Thank you. This next one I actually read back on November 27th. There it is. I call it Time Without You, 2024, Melissa Reed Boogaart. We first met at work early 2013. You were kind, caring, and wouldn't be mean. I got to know you, a true friend indeed. That was when your name was Melissa Reed. Then in 2014, I asked you to date. Our relationship grew and you became my mate. The 16th of April was 10 years from that day. Through all of our time, I never did stray. We dated 4 years, then we were engaged. You helped me so much my emotions had aged. For over a year, our wedding we dreamed. In 2019, your smile just beamed. June 29th was when you became my wife, and I, your husband, for the rest of your life. It's completely unfair that death took you away, that November of 23, on the 28th day. My heart was torn open, my tears flowing down. They filled up the room and I started to drown. So close to Christmas, and my birthday as well. I spent New Year's with friends, but midnight was hell. I missed you so much on that New Year's Eve. It was just over a month since I started to grieve. I looked at your picture and I cried several tears. I thought about our time and all of our years. A decade as friends, 4 years as my wife. I miss you so much, you were the love of my life. Time does go on slowly tearing me away. I lost my love on that terrible day. I can never go back and see her again. Hear her laugh, kiss her lips, feelings insane. 57 days later, just under 2 months, my mother died next. I've taken my lumps. I wrote her a poem that explained her hell. I've struggled along not doing too well. And at 2.5 months came Valentine's Day. It hurts so much, seems so simple to say. I miss you so much all of the time. That saying too has become a part of my rhyme. I've said it so many times, but my life must go on. Time is a monster that's dragging me along. I wish it would stop tearing me away. I wish to go back, but I have no say. I continue to age, you're forever young. I continue on while my head hangs hung. You should still be here, I constantly cry. I will see you again. This isn't goodbye. An eternity to wait to be with your soul. At death's reunion, that will fill my heart's hole. But I press forward, time drags me again. Birthdays gone by, my emotions strained. And I've sat in our nursery that we had built. Our family dreams have completely wilt. The child we won't have haunts me every day. There's nowhere to run, I can't get away. So, I made you a display with lighting to shine. This is where I've set up your shrine. And I've held your urn while crying my tears. This at 3 months since I last saw you, my dear. Time forces me forward, I move on again, although the tears continue to rain. Then it was 4 months after, on March 23rd, when your cousin died too, is what I had heard. Too much pain in such a short span of time. The monster strikes, continuing its crimes. And the house feels empty since you've been gone. I finished the renos. They took far too long. We planned them together for our future lives, but the final touches I had to improvise. Now that was the past, time drags me away, ever since you died on that terrible day. And then on the 11th of May in 2024, we went to the farm, together, once more. This was the day we set your ashes free. It was so hard to leave you without me. And on June 29th, I sat with you there, our 5-year anniversary for us to share. I cried so much as I sat in the sun. I thought of our time and all of our fun. 7 months come by since the day you died. Not a day has gone by where I haven't cried. Then 8 months after your birthday was here, we camped down the hill so that we could be near. Your sister and I and one other friend. We honored your memory over that weekend, and in your spot a tombstone to be laid, a place to think of the memories made. I wrote a poem to stay with you there, for those who visit, your spirit to share. Now time drags me away, I move on with my life. Nothing's been the same since you died, my wife. And 9 months after, I still struggle to believe the fact that you died. I continue to grieve. The storage now cleared, our furniture's home. It's filled up the rooms, but I'm more alone. The memories made are around me here, but I truly wish I could hold you, my dear. Why'd you go to heaven? We had unfinished tasks. Why is the question that I continually ask. Then early September of 2024, you greeted my uncle at heaven's door. His time has come, and he'll play games with you. He loved the games that you loved to play too. And in October, the leaves began to fall. I'm starting to learn, again, how to stand tall. I went to a friend's wedding of both you and I. I thought of our wedding. I disappeared to go cry. Halloween has come, but its spirits left me. Our parties, our tricks, and our treats for free. November is here, and it's getting so close to that day. My tears still fall. I can't keep them at bay. And your family's tradition, this time, each year, it just wasn't the same without you here. Every day's a struggle to get out of bed. Visions of you roam around in my head. Time's dragging me forward. I still kick and scream. I wish I could awake from this nightmare dream. It's now been 1 year since we were husband and wife. It's now been 1 year since the last day of your life. It's now been 1 year since we had our last day. And there are a few things that I just have to say. I love you, Melissa, my beautiful bride. I'll remember your heart, your spirit, your pride, your wonderful and unique, most impressive style, your kindness, compassion, and beautiful smile. I must move forward and on with my life, as I know that you are no longer my wife. As said in our vows, death has done us part, but you'll always remain my wife in my heart. I love you more than words will ever say. I'll continue to miss you every single day. In honor of my beloved wife, Melissa Reed Boogaart. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I usually come here for the open stage. I write my own songs, so I figured they'll make good poems. Okay, so here goes. Back in '04, I came across Frank playing the slide on Turtle Mountain side. How proudly he stood, craggy head held high, pine and cottonwood, etched against the sky. 4 countless ages, turtle viewed his realm. River and vale, Bellevue ever-changing, or he stood high. Back in '04, I came across Frank, playing the slide on Turtle Mountain side. With a mighty rumble, grinding, wrenching sound, one half did crumble, crashing to the ground. Rushing at the river, sinking with a sigh. Bellevue changed forever, scar rising high. Back in '04, I came across Frank, playing the slide on Turtle Mountain side. Gone is the splendor, departed in a day, rent asunder, nature's wondrous way. Rent asunder, nature's wondrous way. Thank you. I wrote this one. I don't know whether anybody been to Fort McMurray, the highway there, Highway 63, lots of white crosses on the side of the road. Well, I wrote this on the way to work. When you're looking for that pot of gold, Highway 63 can be deadly. Long lines of traffic stuck behind trucks. Deer, elk, and moose on the wrong side. Me in my car, praying they're staying, yeah, praying they're staying till I get on by. When you're looking for that pot of gold, Highway 63 leads to McMurray, where thousands toil turning dirt into oil, in the land of the great tar sand, in the land of the great tar sand. When you're looking for that pot of gold, Highway 63 can be deadly. Long lines of traffic stuck behind trucks. Deer, elk, and moose on the wrong side. Come winter time, black ice and snow add to the hazards we already know. When you're looking for that pot of gold, Highway 63 can be deadly, so just beware, pass with care. Too many crosses line the ditches on Alberta's road to riches. Too many crosses line the ditches on Alberta's road to riches. Too many crosses line the ditches on Alberta's road to riches. Thank you.
I have 3 poems for you tonight. They're all published on my Substack. And I was handing out little cards about it. If you'd like to scan it, let me know. I'll give you a card. One is a poem I wrote to a lady who never felt like she was enough, and I can't tell you her name. But the title is You Are Enough. You may have wondered about your self-worth and questioned yourself for years. You may not have had the support, respect, and love you deserve. Life may have thrown a few too many curveballs and put mountains before you to climb. But let me tell you, you are loved, you are respected, and you are enough. You are more than enough. My next poem is called Some Days. Some days, the world will feel like a harsh place. When that happens, I want you to remember all the beautiful people, animals, plants, and places. Some days, you will feel like you're drowning in fears. When you feel like that, remember your strength, that you can move mountains, even if it's one rock at a time, one speck of dust at a time. I know you can do it. Some days will feel like you are climbing the highest mountain in the whole wide world. And I beg you to keep going anyway. Some days will feel like you are left all alone with nobody caring, no one there for you. Count your blessings and remember you are loved. Some days people will act selfish and mean. Remember, that is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of who they are. Some days you will feel like you lost hope and you can't see the way. Open your eyes, open your heart, and say a prayer. Some days you will feel defeated and down. When you do, remember how resilient and how beautiful you are. And this last poem you can find on the back of those little cards I handed out. It's Rising from Ashes. We are rising from the ashes of our scattered dreams, slowly, like grass rises after a fire. We gather our strength little by little and gain new perspective every day. We are rising from the ashes of our hurts from long ago. Some wounds heal quickly, others take years to heal, and there are some that stay with us for life. We are rising from the ashes of our past, emerging like a bird flying higher and higher on the wings of today. We are soaring on the visions of a strong tomorrow. We are rising from the ashes of something every single day.